Welcome back to the Art of Hitting podcast, everyone. I am your host, Ed Rose, and today we're stepping into the batter's box, literally, to tackle a topic that always sparks a lively debate in the fast-pitch softball world, the walk-up style of hitting. You know, that deliberate forward movement as the pitch is coming in. Is it a hidden advantage that unlocks power and timing, or does it perhaps create more problems than it solves, leaving hitters exposed? To help me really break down every angle of this intriguing style, I've brought in a guy who hasn't just mastered it, has practically become synonymous with it. Has my teammate, a true hitting savant, and honestly, one of the best walk-up hitters I've ever had the pleasure of watching play the game, Dan Carlson. We fondly call him the walk-up pro of the Art of Hitting Club. Dan, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Ed. Man, it's always a pleasure to be on the show and chat about hitting. This topic, in particular, is one that's really near and dear to my heart. Obviously, the walk-up style is something I've truly leaned on and developed over many years in the game. It has become such a fundamental part of my approach at the plate, and honestly, I'm just super excited to finally talk through both the incredible benefits and, let us be real, some of the significant downsides of it. There is a lot to unpack, and I think it'll be a really insightful conversation for our listeners.
Absolutely, Dan. And I think it's crucial we cover both sides because, like any advanced technique, it's not for everyone, and it has its nuances. So let's dive right in. For those listeners who might be relatively new to the game or perhaps haven't seen this style in action as often, let's start with the absolute basics. What exactly is the walk-up style of hitting? As I understand it, it's when a hitter literally takes a couple of steps, or sometimes just a significant stride forward into the batter's box as the pitch is being delivered. It's distinct from a traditional, more stationary setup. Instead of staying planted and reacting, you're actively building rhythm, timing, and momentum. Dan, as the guy who's been called the walk-up pro, what, in your experience, makes this style so uniquely effective for you? What's the secret sauce?
That's a great way to put it, Ed. Secret sauce. For me, personally, it all boils down to one word: rhythm. You hit the nail on the head. So many hitters, and I've been guilty of it myself earlier in my career, they get into the box and they just tense up. They get stiff. They become statues waiting for the pitch. And that tension can just drain all the natural athleticism out of their swing. With the walk-up, I'm almost forcing myself to stay fluid, to stay in motion. I'm flowing into the pitch, rather than just reacting to it from a standstill. It is like a pitcher's wind-up, but for a hitter. That forward movement helps me generate natural momentum, almost like winding up a spring, but I'm doing it towards the plate. By the time I actually make contact, I've already created this incredible amount of torque and rotational power, all stemming from the ground up, through my legs, through my core, and then into the bat. It's a chain reaction, and the walk-up initiates that chain.
That's fascinating, Dan, the idea of mirroring a pitcher's wind-up. So it's less about trying to muscle the ball and more about leveraging your body's natural physics. It sounds like a dance almost with the pitcher. How did you even start developing this? Was it intentional, or did you just stumble upon it?
Honestly, Ed, it was a bit of both. Early on, I was struggling with consistency, especially with my power. I felt like I was swinging hard, but the ball just wasn't jumping off the bat. I remember watching some old baseball footage. Some of the greats like Roberto Clemente, even some of the modern guys, had subtle forward movements. I started experimenting in practice, just trying to feel a flow rather than a halt. At first, it was awkward, but then something clicked. I realized that by stepping into the pitch, I was synchronizing my body with the incoming ball in a way that just wasn't happening when I was stationary. It felt more athletic, more powerful, and strangely, more relaxed. It took a lot of reps to refine it, to find that sweet spot of how many steps, how much forward lean, but once it clicked, there was no going back.
That makes perfect sense. It's an evolution, really. All right, let's transition into the specific positives, the good aspects of this style. I've personally seen hitters, including you, use this style to add significant pop and power without even consciously trying to swing harder. It's almost like the momentum does the work for them. What are the key advantages you've identified?
You got it, Ed. The advantages are pretty clear. In my opinion, once you get the hang of it, number one, and this is huge, is definitely added bat speed. That forward movement we talked about, it creates a natural whip in your hands and through the bat path. Imagine throwing a punch from a standstill versus taking a step into it. You always generate more force with that step. It is the same principle. You're building kinetic energy that transfers directly into the barrel. Second, it's an incredible timing mechanism. When I'm walking into the pitch, I'm not just waiting. I'm actively feeling the rhythm of the pitcher's delivery, syncing my steps to their motion. This makes it so much easier to stay locked in, to pick up the spin, and to be on time. Whether it's a fastball, a changeup, or a rise ball, it helps me adjust quicker. And third, a point I think is massive for many players, it helps me avoid being frozen at the plate. I mean, how many times have we seen hitters just stand there, flat-footed, watching a perfect strike go by, or swinging late? With the walk-up, I'm never just standing there passively waiting. I'm always in motion, always engaged, always ready to fire.
That last point, Dan, is absolutely huge. I mean, it resonates so much, especially with a lot of older hitters who tend to get caught flat-footed. They lose that athletic stance, that ready position. The walk-up style almost inherently forces you to stay athletic, to stay dynamic. It's like you are always in a pre-swing sequence. And that timing aspect, I can only imagine how crucial that is. Does it help you, especially with off-speed pitches, where you need to hold back just a fraction longer?
Oh, absolutely. Ed, that's a fantastic question. With off-speed pitches, the walk-up really shines because while I'm creating momentum, I'm also doing it in a controlled way. If I see that changeup coming, instead of just slamming on the brakes from a stationary position, I can subtly shorten my stride or reduce the forward lean to maintain that rhythm, but give my eyes and hands more time to react. It has a very fluid adjustment rather than a jarring stop-start, and that keeps me from getting out on my front foot too early, which is the death knell for hitting off-speed stuff effectively. So, yes, it is not just about power against fast pitches. It is about adaptable timing against everything.
That's brilliant. It's about controlled momentum then, not just wild abandon. Another thing I've observed as a benefit, and you might agree, is the mental aspect. When a hitter is confidently stepping into the pitch, moving with purpose, it can almost send a subtle message to the pitcher. It's like saying, I'm coming for this ball. Do you ever feel like there's a psychological edge to it?
100%. Ed, that's a factor that isn't talked about enough. There's definitely a psychological component, both for me and for the pitcher. For me, it gives me confidence. I feel connected, powerful, and in control. And for the pitcher, I think it can be a little unnerving. They see you active, aggressive, taking those steps toward them, rather than just standing there. It might make them feel like they need to be extra precise, or maybe they start to overthink. It's a subtle form of intimidation. Without saying a word, I've definitely felt that shift in energy when I step in with a focused walk-up. It's part of the art of hitting, right?
Definitely part of the art, Dan. It's almost like a statement. Okay, so we've sung the praises, but now let's play devil's advocate. Like any advanced technique, There's a flip side. I've also seen this style cause some significant problems for hitters. What are some of the downsides, the pitfalls that players need to be incredibly aware of?
All right, Ed, time to be brutally honest about the risks. Number one, and this is probably the biggest one, it's incredibly risky. if your timing is off. If you start your walk-up too early or too late, even by a fraction of a second, you are absolutely in trouble. You'll either be way out on your front foot, lunging and pulling off the ball, or you'll be rushing, unable to get your hands through. There's a very narrow window for error. Number 2, you can lose plate coverage. If I step too far in towards the plate with my walk-up, I drastically reduce my ability to hit an inside pitch. I'll jam myself, hit weak ground balls, or just get completely tied up. Conversely, if I step too far away, I'm reaching for everything on the outside corner. It's a delicate balance to maintain optimal plate coverage while moving. And number 3, this is a practical one. Umpires don't always love it, and you're flirting with stepping out of the box. If you take too many steps, or your final landing foot is completely outside the chalk line, an umpire could call it, and that is a dead ball, strike, or even out, depending on the situation and league rules. You have to be aware of your boundaries, literally.
All valid points. Dan, and the umpire one is particularly frustrating when it happens. But you also brought up something key, the difference between a controlled walk-up and what often happens, which is lunging. For some hitters, especially those without great balance or body control, that walk turns into a desperate lunge. Once you are lunging, your hands drag, your head flies out, and you completely lose all that power and precision you thought you were gaining. It actually becomes detrimental. How do you differentiate a good walk up from a bad lunge?
That is a critical distinction, Ed. A good walk-up maintains balance throughout the movement. My head stays relatively still over my center. My eyes stay locked on the pitcher, and my hands remain in a powerful, loaded position. It is a controlled, athletic glide forward. A lunge, on the other hand, is usually characterized by the head flying out over the plate, the front shoulder pulling off, and the hands dropping or dragging behind. The hitter's balance is completely compromised, and they're essentially falling into the pitch instead of driving through it. The momentum isn't controlled. It's chaotic. A simple drill to tell the difference is to try and stop your walk-up at any point before contact and hold your balance. If you can't, you're probably lunging. Also, if you feel like you're reaching for the ball with your front foot rather than driving with your back leg, that's a red flag for lunging.
That's a fantastic diagnostic tool, Dan. You'll definitely be sharing that with my players. Another potential downside, and you alluded to it with timing, is consistency. It feels like Therese more moving parts, which could lead to more opportunities for things to go wrong. Do you find it requires more focus or energy to maintain that consistency over a long game or tournament?
You absolutely hit on another key point there, Ed. It does require more mental focus, especially early on. When you're still developing it, you're actively thinking about each step, each movement, and that can detract from just seeing the ball and reacting. It's a motor skill that has to become entirely unconscious, just like a regular swing, until it's second nature. Yes, it can be more taxing, and in a long tournament, if you're physically fatigued, the walk-up can sometimes be the first thing to break down. Your steps get sloppier, your balance goes, and suddenly you're back to lunging. So, conditioning and repetition are absolutely essential to make it consistent and energy efficient.
So it's not a shortcut, it's a refined skill. Understood. Okay, Dan, based on everything we've discussed, the pros and cons, the nuances, who should actually consider incorporating the walk-up style into their game? And perhaps more importantly, who should probably stay away from it and stick to a more traditional, stationary approach?
That is the million-dollar question, Ed. I say it's genuinely great for players who have a natural sense of rhythm and body control. Think about athletes who excel in other sports that require synchronized movement. Dancers, basketball players with great footwork, even pitchers themselves. If you're an athlete who can naturally sync their steps to an external rhythm, like a pitcher's delivery, then the walk-up might click for you. It is for players who need that little extra juice, that timing mechanism, or who feel stuck or stiff in a traditional stance. If you're struggling with getting the ball deep or feeling late on pitches, and you have that inherent athleticism, it can absolutely be a game changer for unlocking power and timing.
So it's for the field hitters, the natural movers, not necessarily the most rigid or analytical. What about the flip side? Who should probably steer clear?
Right. On the other hand, if you're a naturally stiff, very mechanical hitter, someone who thrives on precise, repeatable, stationary movements, the walk-up might actually make you worse. It could introduce too much variability and complexity into your swing, disrupting your established mechanics. You might end up just lunging, as we discussed. Also, and this is crucial, if you're already struggling with strike zone discipline, swinging at bad pitches, chasing balls out of the zone, the walk-up can magnify that problem. With all that momentum, it becomes incredibly difficult to stop your swing on a borderline pitch, or to hold back on a ball that is just out. Your decision-making needs to be really sharp. So, if you're not seeing the ball well or have poor pitch selection, fix that first before adding a walk-up.
That's excellent advice, Dan. I've seen that firsthand players who are already undisciplined at the plate try to add a walk-up, and it just exacerbates their issues. From a coaching standpoint, I'd echo what you said, Dan, but also add this: experiment with it, but do it in practice. Don't just show up in a tournament and try it for the first time. It's a tool, not a shortcut. Start with subtle movements, maybe just a small rock, step forward, and gradually build up to a more pronounced walk. Use soft toss, then front toss, then live pitching, always building slowly. The goal is to make it feel natural and unconscious, not forced. It requires dedication to truly integrate it into your swing without it becoming a liability.
Absolutely. Ed, practice is key, and even within the walk-up, there's a spectrum. It doesn't have to be a massive, 3-step walk every time. Some days, against a fast pitcher, my walk-up might be shorter, more compact, just a quick step. Against a slower pitcher, I might allow myself a little more movement to keep that rhythm going without rushing. It is about adapting the tool to the situation, not a one-size-fits-all approach. That's another reason why practice is so vital. You learn to adjust the walk-up itself.
That's a brilliant point, Dan. It's not a static technique. It's dynamic, meant to be adjusted based on the pitcher, the game situation, and even how you're feeling that day. The ultimate goal is consistency in contact and power, not rigid adherence to a specific number of steps. Well, there you have it, everyone. The good, the bad, and the nuanced truth about the walk-up style of hitting. It's a powerful tool for some, a potential pitfall for others. Well, there's some of the facts. Obviously, it takes a lot longer to explain this, but it's a concept that will work. It does work. Now let's hear from Pat, Gary, and Dan, who you saw in this video with their walk-up. They are strong hitters. Today in practice, Gary actually hit one out 380. Dan was hitting them 360, 370 very consistently, as Pat was doing like 340, 350, and Gary was absolutely rocking the hell out of it. Very good hitters, and they used the walk-up. And one of my best friends, Chip Krieger from New Jersey, one of the greatest hitters I ever played with, the walk-up guy. So how long have you been using a walk-up batting style?
Over 20 years.
20 years.
Yes,
so
sir.
why did you go to it?
Well, I wanted to get to first base faster when I first started to do it. So I used to just hit the ball to short and beat it out every time to first. That was why I first started it.
And now you don't do that.
Now I don't have to do that, because I learned how to hit better. So.
Oh, okay. So you use that as just a.
It's a momentum for me. I'm still.
And you weren't very good when you first started.
No.
Because that's why you just try to hit it out and beat it out.
Right.
So what are the issues you found over the years?
Just timing. Timing is the biggest issue. Oh my God! You have to have timing and your hand placement. Everything has to work in unison for it to be good.
And I remember one time, first time I ever seen you, you hit two right to about 2 inches in front of the plate, and I gave you a correction, and I forget what it was now.
You told me to move closer.
Move closer, because your timing was off.
Yep, and ever since then I've been on it. Yep.
Yeah. So you recommend it to anybody?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But what are the problems?
Just timing, right? Timing. Yeah, timing is the biggest issue.
Too many moving parts too, right?
Too many moving parts.
Okay. What's the good thing about it?
My momentum carries me so forward, like I could hit a lot farther than that.
And you hit it a long way now too.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Well, now we just come off you hitting bombs about 380, 390, and but this is about the walk-up style of hitting. How long you been using that, my friend?
I actually just started back, but I started probably about mid-30s.
When you're in the 30s, and why did you do it?
Well, it's a long story, but
we don't have a long story. You got to shorten it up a little.
Okay. I was playing for a team. It was I had to keep the ball in the yard, and that was a way for me to keep the ball in the yard.
That's interesting. That's the way the other Pat just described. He hit it down so he get it on first base. So
yeah, no, you could control the ball better. You can control the field. I could hit backside with it. But as it got better, as my timing gets better with it, my power actually gets better.
Why do you know, a lot of people say that you can't control it as well. Why do you say the opposite?
Well, they're not wrong. There's a lot more moving parts. So you've got to really sit there, put in the work to make it work. You know, if you got all that time and everything to get out of sync. A lot of people sit there and talk about kinematic sequence, and that's basically creating power.
Hold on, you said kinematic?
Kinematic
or
sequence.
kinesthetic?
Kinematic.
And what is kinematic?
Kinematic is basically the sequence and everything of how you said your body reacts to the ground force. Everything turns and pulls the other. So if I get out of sequence, then basically
so kinematic makes kinesthetic energy.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know all those
I'm
big
just
words.
putting them together, so I got too many kinematics in. Okay,
But anyway,
that makes sense.
The ground
Okay.
force, my hips go. But if my hands go before my hips, I lose all that power from the ground. My hips go, then my torso goes, my shoulders stay tight, and my hands are the last thing to go. So that's basically just using the ground force coming up. But you can still do that, walk in the box, because once you get your foot in the ground, the swinging mechanics are all exactly the same.
What did that do it again?
So the thing is, that I walk the box, I've got a 3-step. 1, 2, but once that foot lands, everything else is just like I'm standing still.
Just like you're standing still.
So it's all that additional movement that a lot of people don't really put in the work to make it to work. So you've got a lot more opportunities, I guess, to get out of sequence.
But if you don't stop, I mean, if you don't stop and plant, you're gonna have a useless swing.
Yeah, but no, walking the box, I've been doing it now for so long. I got more muscle memory doing that than anything else.
So you get to go back to what you used to.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you do it well, man. You just hit one 390.
Appreciate you.
Dan Carlson. We are doing a video about your walk-up style of hitting. I called you a savant of hitting. I don't even know if that makes sense, but
Those are big words, Ed.
It is a big word. I had to use that 25-cent word. But listen, man, when did you start the walk-up style hitting?
It was a bit of a process. I started copying it. I was on Team Canada, and the cleanup hitter was a little guy, smallest guy on the team. He hit it a mile, and COVID hit, and I said, I'm going to try and copy that guy because he got so much out of so little as far as his body. It was impressive.
That's a good way to put it, so much out of so little.
Yeah.
And you know what, you heard I've been in this game a long time, 20 years longer than you, because you weren't even alive.
True story.
Right? Is that right? Is my math right on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and I was never a big fan, and I remember you asking me about, you were in between the...
Well, when I met you, I was at the point when I came down here, I could really hit the ball far, not super consistent. I was more consistent staying still, but not even close to the same power. And you said...
I said, Dan, what feels good to you? What do you like? I mean, hitting's all about the art of hitting, as I call it, your personal spin on it. And man, when you took that and you became I have never seen anybody hit the ball any better than you to all sides of the field in my entire career. even, I mean, I played with some, I'm talking about super fucking players.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you for saying
a guy named Mike Jacobs, man, is a guy I think of. He could hit it out at will, and he could hit it anywhere. He was like a starting center fielder for University of Florida at one time. Yeah, he was tremendous. But you right up there with him, man.
Thank you. That's a big compliment.
So, but now this video is we're gonna do the plus and minuses of the walk up.
Yep.
Just recap that for me the best you can, because I'm gonna put this at the end of the video.
Sure. Well, the positives for me, it guarantees that 15% of the linear swing every time, maybe even a little more. So I never get
15.
cheated.
Oh, you get you maximize your linear ability.
Absolutely, and I definitely know that I can get to more pitches with the walk up. Now there's downsides to that, but as far as the walk up, when you're moving away from the back of the plate, the pitchers can try and attack you high and inside, which is a hard pitch for anybody. But through practice, I mean, I've been working on that high inside pitch, and now I like it. So it just goes to show that no matter what you do, if you spend enough time doing this,
you can get it under
working
control.
on your game, that you can overcome anything. You just have to be smart how you practice.
That's pretty much what the art of hitting is about too, because we got guys in this club like Stan taught me. Well, you help me with with my dude. You don't need help with your form. You're batting like 700.
Yeah.
What do you change your form? You may change what you do.
Yeah.
Just be who you are, and be happy that you're hitting good with a bad mechanics.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, do you recommend the walk up?
If you have the time to see it through and aren't expecting immediate results, I definitely recommend trying it. There's a lot of rhythm to it. If you're kind of a rigid, stationary person, I don't know that it's going to work. But if you have a little bit of rhythm to you, I think it's easier. The learning curve is quicker for somebody like that, and it really gets you in a groove. It gets you confidence to the point where, I mean, you can hit any ball well on the strike zone. You just have to rein in what your strike zone is, and I've been recently working on that and with good results. So. And
you're also telling me you're a good dancer. Okay, man. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
You might have heard the pitch there a little too flat. Little too flat. Nope. Another shot hit in the direction of the left fielder Armitage, and he's just going to stand and watch that one go. Boy, it looks like that. You might have heard the pitch there a little too flat. Little too flat. Nope. Another shot hit in the direction of the left fielder Armitage, and he's just going to stand and watch that one go. Boy, it looks like that.